A Black Hat hacker had hacked Hacking Team's servers, stealing hundreds of gigabytes of data. After leaking it online, Phineas Fisher all but disappeared. But with an assist from my colleague at Vice's tech and science site, Motherboard, we finally negotiated interview terms. Since we wouldn't be able to show his face, the hacker had a strange request. He would only do the interview if he was represented by a puppet. These are the exact words from our live text exchange, voiced by one of my colleagues.
What was the goal in hacking the Hacking Team data? Were you trying to stop them?
For the lulz. I don't really expect leaking data to stop a company, but hopefully it can at least set them back a bit and give some breathing room to the people being targeted with their software.
We spoke to some Ethiopian journalists who were targeted by their government using Hacking Team software, and they wanted to thank you.
Cool. Kind of weird seeing my hacking hobby, actually affecting people in the real world in a positive way.
What do you think of surveillance companies and Hacking Team specifically?
I would say there are people with no morals going where the money is, but it's maybe not entirely true. I imagine I'm not all that different from Hacking Team employees. The same addiction to that electronic pulse and the beauty of the bod. I imagine if you come from a background where you see police as largely a force for good, then writing hacking tools for them makes some sense. But then Citizen Lab provides clear evidence it's being used mostly for comic book villain level of evil. And all the Finn Fisher and Hacking Team customers where targets of the spying have been identified in Bahrain, Ecuador, Mexico, Ethiopia. It's all investigative journalists, dissidents, political opposition, etc. being targeted. Not real crime, but threats to those in power.
While Hacking Team was selling spyware to law enforcement agencies tasked with catching criminals, they also sold to authoritarian regimes who used their wares to crack down on dissent. Other details revealed through the Hacking Team data dump was information about companies that were supplying Hacking Team with the technology to build their spy tools. Security firm Netrogard was singled out for selling them a zero-day. That is, an undiscovered security flaw in software that can be exploited to penetrate a system. Buying and selling zero-days is legal, but covert. While they can be used to test and improve a company's network security, zero-days can also be used to inject malicious software into a computer.
A piece of technology that I created, brokered really, because I didn't really create it, but a piece of technology that I brokered, a deal that I was involved with, potentially armed these rogue nations with a tool that let them break into these other systems. I didn't want any part of that.
Adriel Disotels admitted to selling a zero-day exploit to Hacking Team after the ESAT hack.
I think that it should be your responsibility to make sure that you are not selling to somebody that you believe will do anything malicious.
That said, Netrogard, respected above-board company, you sold the Hacking Team.
I know.
When you misuse a zero-day, who's more at fault? The broker or the end user?
When you misuse a zero-day, the end user, absolutely. I mean, if I sell, I'm Nike, and I sell shoes to some guy, and he runs down a woman and rapes the woman, isn't Nike's fault for signing the sneakers? Or what about Microsoft? How many people have been hacked by somebody using Microsoft's operating system? Microsoft's not accountable for that, right? The ethics of it and the responsibility of it are up to the actor, or the team that are responsible for executing that specific operation.
Adriel's moral dilemma seemed hard to avoid in the gray market where zero-days are bought and sold, a market fueled by a booming cyber arms trade. So I went to London to meet Edna Manovic, a cyber surveillance researcher for Privacy International.
So have you always been
coming from Bosnia, being interested in conflict and the arms trade and foreign policy and so on.
Right, how the weapons get where they
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Does this surveillance market, does it mirror at all the conventional weapons market?
What you've got in the arms market is a system whereby governments have some kind of control over the exports. So they would be able to say to this company, you're selling this, we want to be able to control who you're selling that to. At the moment, that doesn't exist for the surveillance market because much of the technology is new. Governments need to step in and say that if a product is being sold from their country, to a regime where it's going to be used for human rights abuses, they need to be able to stop that.
And who are the major players in it? Who are buying these technologies?
It would be countries without their own capability to develop these kind of tools, which oftentimes tend to be authoritarian countries.
Where are these companies based? They're selling them.
Generally, they tend to be in well-developed countries with big ICT and defense and security sectors.
How big is this industry?
That's really one of the scariest things, is that because it's so secretive that nobody actually knows. There's been a few estimates by people in the industry, somewhere in the region of $5 billion a year. But ultimately, because it's so secretive, there's just no way of knowing. They want it to be kept a secret.
So it stays in the shadows that way.
Stays in the shadows.